Da 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 dee da dum, la 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 la, da 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 dum, and who this world rejoices. Heartfully Sorry, Part 1 of 3, Saturday, May 10th, 2025. In another hour, the sun will be rising in Des Moines, Iowa, but at 5 o'clock, the sky is dark, the air is a cool 53 degrees F, and the birds are chirping happily. I'm tip-tapping on my tablet in the living room of a century-old two-bedroom house we're renting for our 4-day stay in Iowa. The two people with whom I am most openly affectionate, my wife and our grand one, John, are snoozing away in a double bed in the second bedroom where they will likely remain sleeping for 2 to 4 more hours. I slept alone. If we had a king-size bed, we all would have snuggled together, but 3 in a double bed isn't conducive for sound sleeping. 8-and-a-half-year-old grand one John readily expresses his affection for both of us, but there is no doubt who his favorite grand is. I'm thrilled to play Avis to her Hertz, happy to be a distant number 2 to her undisputed number 1. The goddess Durga and I took 2 days to drive the 1,111 miles that separates John's house from ours in order to be present at his first Holy Communion, the third of 6 sacraments that Roman Catholics receive. For Catholics, sacraments are holy. Baptism is the first sacrament, reconciliation, confession is second, and communion third. I have reserved these 3 sacraments as well as confirmation and marriage, leaving only last rites, aka extreme unction, on my scorecard. I don't plan to receive last rites, not because I think I'll live forever, but rather because I stopped being Catholic over half a lifetime back. The 6th sacrament is holy orders, becoming a priest or nun. Occasionally someone will receive all 7, but circumstances for this are extremely rare as the overwhelming majority of Catholic priests and nuns have never married. There are priests and nuns who are ordained after being widowed, and I know of one married priest, but for the overwhelming majority, it's either marriage or holy orders. As I said, I stopped being Catholic long ago, but Catholicism is our elder son's bedrock. Our darling D.I.L. converted to Catholicism, and John was baptized as an infant and received reconciliation repeatedly. We're here for his first Holy Communion, which he receives tomorrow. In order to receive communion, the rule is that one should be in a state of grace. A state of grace almost always requires reconciliation, which means confession. I have no desire to return to Catholicism, but I do have a great desire to validate my grand one's wishes. I am 8 times as old as John. Validating John's wish would include me receiving communion. In order to receive communion, the rules clearly state that I need to be in a state of grace. In order to be in a state of grace, I must receive reconciliation. For John's sake, I wish to receive communion. For John's sake, I will go to confession. The confession ritual I was taught involved confessionals where the priest could not see the face of the confessor. The confessor, me, enters the confessional, kneels, crosses himself, and says, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. My last confession was..." I'm not sure when my last confession was. I know that 39 years ago this month, I went to confession prior to my wedding mass. I did not want a wedding mass, and my bride could have done without. But 25-year-old we opted to bow to family pressure and went with the flow. Going with the flow required me to go to confession, which I did. Was that my last confession? I think so, but I'm not certain. Was that the last time I received the body and blood of Christ? No, I have received communion at Catholic funeral masses, at wedding masses, and occasionally when attending mass with the grand one. We'll see how it goes from there. 39 years of sins, 39 years of missing the mark. My actions haven't been so very bad, but the act of contrition states, in my thoughts and in my deeds, and what I have done and in what I have failed to do. My son and grand one do not limit going to Mass to Sundays and holy days of obligation. They don't just go weekly, they like to go to daily Mass. Mass matters enormously to them, and they, especially young John, matter enormously to me, which leads me to the question of how do I open my confessional monologue? Will I go with, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. My last confession may have been May of 1986? Probably. I may not have been a bad boy, but 39 years of thoughts and failing to do could take an awfully long time to confess. I may have to take this all the way to our brand new U.S.-born Pope, Leo the 14th.